Two state lawmakers in New York want to extend the state eviction moratorium until November. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going over what I expected to happen, especially in very tenant-friendly states like New York. Already, some lawmakers are proposing that they extend the state eviction moratorium again. And I'm sure once this, date comes up, they will try to extend it once again. But before I get into that article, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, or maybe leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of these eviction moratoriums. I'm going to work to keep bringing you articles about them, and as well as that, other articles that have stuff to do with landlords. So, this article, it comes from TroyRecord.com, and it says, New York lawmakers pitch extending eviction moratorium to October. And by October, they mean until October 31st. So really, it'll be extended through October and until November. But let's see what the article says. Two New York lawmakers introduced a bill Friday to extend the state's eviction moratorium until October 31st in light of the state's failure to send out enough COVID-19 rental aid for an estimated 200,000 households in need. The state's eviction moratorium is set to expire August 31st. Senator Alessandra Biaggi and Assemblymember Yu Line Nu, both Democrats, are urging the legislature to return to Albany to extend the moratorium. It was unclear Friday whether the legislative leaders would support an extension. Now, I hope that the legislative leaders in New York do not support an extension, but you never know, okay? Now, with everything that's been happening lately, there's been a far push to the left, which means that, the tenants' rights people are much, much more powerful than they used to be. And that's a very bad thing for landlords. That means that things like these eviction moratoriums keep getting extended, and they keep creating new tenant-friendly rules that punish landlords. And it really doesn't make much sense to me, because a lot of these landlords are just going to be like, you know what, I don't even want to do this anymore. And especially the small ones, okay? They're just going to be like, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this. So I'm getting out of the business completely. And that's not going to help the renters overall. It's going to end up just being a lot of very large players, and they're going to be very strict, it's going to be a lot different rental market in the future. I can see the way things are going right now, but part of my issue is also that they're talking about the people haven't been able to get the rental assistance. Okay, now that is the fault of the state government. Okay, they've had more time than they need. It's been 6+ months. And they still haven't been able to get these bureaucratic systems rolling so that the people who need the assistance can get it. Instead, they're just hoping that the landlords can just struggle on without any money. Not to mention, there's all these landlords who don't even qualify, who have tenants who don't qualify for the rental assistance, or landlords who just will never get all of their money back, even if they do get the rental assistance. So what they're doing is they're just taking money from the pockets of landlords, and they're expecting us to just eat the loss, because they want to put into place a very progressive socialist system, and I don't agree with it. I believe it's unconstitutional, it's unlawful, and I hope that the Supreme Court steps in there and shuts these people down, okay? We cannot let hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers risk homelessness due to the negligence of our own government, Biaggi said. The executive has failed New Yorkers, and the legislature must reconvene to deliver for the people that we were elected to serve. This year, the state set up a new $2.4 billion fund to provide up to 12 months of past due rent and utility bills directly to landlords on behalf of eligible tenants who are at or below 80% of area median income. New Yorkers that spend 30% or more of their monthly income on rent can also benefit from up to 3 months of extra rental aid. Now, keep that in mind. They just said a couple of the qualifications there. You have to make less than 80% of the area median income. So if you have a tenant in your property that makes 85% of the area median income, guess what? They don't qualify for the rental assistance, and you get nothing. But they might still qualify for the eviction moratorium. So you can't get rid of them. They don't qualify for rental assistance. You're just out of luck. Yeah, you just eat that loss, landlord. No problem, right? Wrong, okay? I think the landlord should go ahead, start filing these lawsuits against the states, start filing the lawsuits against the federal government to get their just compensation. If you aren't covered by the rental assistance programs, especially, you have a really good case there, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it looks like you have a good case there, especially if it comes out that all of this was unconstitutional and unlawful, like I believe it will. Despite repeated requests, Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration has failed to provide the Associated Press with basic details about the program, including the number of households who have received aid or how many applicants have been denied. Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, a Democrat from Manhattan, said as of July 27th, only 55 households have received an average of $14,000 in relief each. Groups representing large and small landlords, many of whom have had to go months without receiving rent amid the pandemic, are expected to fight efforts to extend the moratorium, and rightly so. Okay, so only 55 landlords have received anything out of this program in that's completely ridiculous. Okay, I don't know if that's just in Manhattan where this assemblywoman, represents, or if that's for all of New York or just New York City, but that's still an unbelievably low number. So the issue I have is that the rental assistance programs aren't working. Okay, these landlords, they're drowning. Okay, they're slowly drowning, and the only thing keeping them afloat is the fact that they are treading water with their own money, their own savings, and maybe with the other tenants that they may have in their other rental properties or other rental units that are still paying. So yeah, this is completely ridiculous. It's not surprising though, and the truth is, I believe that these progressives will keep trying to extend these eviction moratoriums. As long as the courts don't get rid of them, they will keep trying, right? And people like the Biden administration and a lot of these more liberal states, they will have, in order to get votes, they will just keep doing it. They will just keep doing it. And the landlords will have to face the consequences, which is bankruptcy, foreclosure, ruined credit, ruined finances, and they could possibly lose their own homes, or their own businesses. And that is wrong. Meanwhile, these states are still demanding that their property taxes are paid. And yeah, I mean, can you believe the hypocrisy from these state governments? Hey, we're going to tell you to keep a tenant in your property without getting paid any rent, but we still want our property taxes. Well, you know what I think of that, okay? It's just a bunch of crap, a bunch of garbage, and it's just a bunch of, self-serving politicians who don't care anything about the law or the Constitution or the rights of property owners.